in the agricultural sector due to limited processing and preservation capacity. This results in high food prices and food importation, with its attendant effects on the nation's foreign reserves. To enable Nigerians optimize the benefits from the country's vast agricultural products such as cassava, oil palm, rice, tomatoes, and others, the Bank of Industry has launched a 5 billion naira cottage agro-processing fund, the CAP Fund. Customers can access the fund to establish plans to process our various agro-produce into food products or intermediate raw materials for industries at a single-digit interest rate of 9% per annum. For more information on the CAP Fund, please visit www.boinigeria.com/capfund. Bank of Industry, developing Nigeria's agro-processing industry through the CAP Fund.
Fish farming in Nigeria is becoming a lucrative business. Since the federal government banned the importation of frozen fish in 2013, this further boosted the prospect of the business. Odueke Oluseyi is the chairman of El Shaddai Fisheries in Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, a local fish farm that raises catfish and makes fish feeds. He lives and works here.
Yes, Mr. Usman.
Mr. Odueke started the business with his wife in 2004. He sought funding from the Bank of Industry shortly after, taking his business to another level.
And that is how we started, but just with our little savings. And so we've been growing since, with just 1 pond to 2 ponds, then later on to 4 ponds at the back of the house here. And then around 2007, we discovered that part of the profit that we should have been making, we have been giving to feed millers. Then we decided to make a small machine that can mill, that can crush the items and also pellet into some items that the fish can pick. And that is the small machine over there. This is the machine that we were using before BOI. This is the all-in-all machine. This one we crush. This we crush. And this we pellet. So this is the only motor it uses. This is what we are using. And we will mix manually. Then you can just imagine the machine with the rate is just about between 50 to 100 kilo per hour. So for the whole day, you will just, that's if you do not stop at all, and if there is power supply all through, you will just be able to do just about 1 ton maximum, between 500 to 1 ton, very small, and quite tedious. Then, listening to Channels TV, yes, we got to know about BOI through these BOI weeklies. And then I decided to make inquiries. When we tried the numbers that was on this, then they said that, which state are you from, and things like that. It's better you go through your state. I said, which is our state? The state is not BOI. This BOI is supposed to be a national thing. And then they said that it's be faster if we should go through the state, that there are some state governments that are partnering with the Bank of Industry, and that they usually open a kind of special units for them, and that if we go through them, it's be better.
One product that sets El Shaddai Fisheries apart is the floating fish feed, a commodity that is usually imported.
So another thing that we bring to the table is that we're making it available for farmers to come and produce locally, which makes it cheaper. So at the same time, they can determine what will be in the feed. Not that it is finished and they just push it in a bag and they just believing that the company will give them something good. But they can determine that this is the much soya, this is the percentage crude protein, this is the amount of energy I want to be in the feed. And so, being the only feed mill that produces that type in town, it makes it to be a kind of an overwhelming patronage. Every farmer knows that the floating feed, the extruded type, is much better than the sinking type. Of course, there is no way anybody will produce catfish, without using the extruded, especially at the early stage.
Extruded fish feed is made from high protein and energy sources. It is mixed to specified proportions and processed in the pellet machine.
Once a customer comes in, we take the bookings, what he wants to be in the food that he wants to give to his fish. We then take the bookings, we take it to the bashing, corner, the bashing table, where each materials, each items, the soya, the GNC, the maize, the flour, the wheat offer, we weigh them out according to the specified items. We weigh them out and then put them together. That is what we call batching. When we put them together, we then carry it. We then carry it into this machine. Into this machine. This is a mixer. Put this into this mixer. The mixer mixes it, and from the mixing, it comes out through this end into these baths. And we can use two things. The machine is automatic. We can pour it into the machine's mixer, and the machine will feed by itself and produce by itself. Or we can manually feed the machine, as this young man is doing. We feed the machine, and it passes through the extruder, which will cook it, make it to float, and then pellet it into the size of the mold that we fix into it. A cutter is around here to cut it into sizes, and we have a product like this. And we have a product like this. It is then picked from here. We then pick it from here and take it to the dryer. It is spread in front of the dryer, and it dries within 3 minutes. After drying it, it is then coated with oil. So from the dryer, it then goes to the coating unit, where the feeds are coated, or is coated with oil, fish oil. It is not available in the country, but what we do is that we produce it ourselves from the processing unit, where we convert the fats of the fish to fish oil. By coating it, it also makes the food to be more water stable, and also to be more palatable for the fish to eat. And once we coat it with the oil, we then pack it into sacks like this for the customers to take home.
El Shaddai Fisheries now has 21 fish ponds, 4 of which are domiciled in this compound. They are fed with the floating fish feeds for about 6 weeks before they are harvested.
They are about 3 weeks old. This is the last set that we are having now. We have fishes at different stages. We have those that are 2 months, those that are 4 months, those that are ready for harvesting. In fact, we have some that we have transferred to our processing units here. So we feed them for the next 4 to 5 months like this, and they are ready for harvesting. And then we pick them from, we can sell them to marketers. We have a lot of marketers taking fish to Abuja, to Ibadan, to Port Harcourt, all over, to around, and they usually come to pick to harvest fish, to pick fish from us.
Another major addition to the business after receiving the BOI funds is processing, where the fish is slaughtered and roasted using homegrown technologies from the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, Oshodi, FIRO, and NAFDAC.
This is the processing unit. Once they are 5 to 6 months old and they are big enough for harvesting, we harvest them from the farm, and place them in a holding tank, in a holding pond, such as this, situated very close, located very close to the processing unit. Here, they are then picked. They are then picked for processing. Like we take them from this farm, from this pond, after harvesting and keeping them there. We now take them from that pond and place them in baths. Place them in baths. Example like this. Yes, this is about 5.5 months old. It is inside the baths that they are killed. There's a special way of killing the fish that is approved by NAFDAC for certain reasons, as against our usual method of killing it in our kitchens, where they just use a knife, or some will use a club to hit the head of the fish. This will send a kind of tremor signal down into the protein structure of the body, and it will affect the protein. It will affect the taste as well. And so, in training, because the staff that works here are specially trained in FIRO. They are trained in FIRO. That is the Federal Institute of Research, Industrial Research, Oshodi. So they are killed using salt, and once they are dead, they are removed from the bath, and the filleting, that is the removal of the internal structures, is done here. There's also an approved way of removing the internal structure. We don't just cut it into 2 or into 4. The internal parts are, that is the intestines, the lungs, yes, the lungs, the liver, everything should be removed. If they are dried with it, it will reduce the shelf life of the product. It will then be sliced into the appropriate, it will then be cut appropriately, and then after that, washed. It will be washed with salt water, so as to ensure that all kinds of mucus and any form of attachment that may have come with the fish from the pond are removed, are completely removed. This is the NAFDAC approved style of killing and processing of this fish, so that the protein structure will still be intact, and it is also produced hygienically. We soak it in this salt water for about 30 minutes to 1 hour, after which we then pick it and then put it in this instrument. This is the smoking kiln, the type that is approved by NAFDAC, because this will not allow smoke to get in contact with the fish, with the product. As we were told, we were educated that the smoke contains some hydrocarbons, cyclic hydrocarbons that can cause cancer. And so the technology adapted by FIRO, because this was produced by FIRO, here is that is the type that will separate the smoke coming from the charcoal from the heat. The technology will transfer the heat directly to the fish and remove the smoke through the chimney on top of the smoking kiln. So after 8 hours of charging and recharging the smoking kiln, it is then taken out of the smoking kiln, and we have a product like this. We have products like this. We then pack in polythene bags. Once it is very dry, it can last for 6 months. The shelf life can last for at least 6 months.
Now that the business is booming and a strong competitor in the fish farming business in the region, Odueke Oluseyi wants to do more in the nearest future.
The future is bright, as we have just added the fish roasting department. We're looking actually towards little exporting opportunities. If that is done, we can then add more smoking kiln, get more workers, and begin to really ship our products across our borders.